Hello, booktubers. This is the Scholar Gentleman. It's time for me to do a book report on A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. Now, I had the advantage of finishing reading the book when this came in from Amazon, so I was able to watch the movie right afterwards. And I have to say, this movie uh, does it right. It's the right way to do an adaptation. It distills the essence of the book into the movie and makes use of the medium to show you things that the book possibly couldn't. But the book itself, it's a coming-of-age story of Francie Nolan in a turn of the last century Brooklyn. Opens up at like 1908 or something. And, okay, it's recording. And Francie's, I want to say by me about 9, 10. She's prepubescent. And it's a really hard scrabble life. It's they're counting their pennies, they're rubbing their pennies together, and Katie is the mom. I believe Sissy is the sister. Yeah, Sissy is one of the aunts, and it's basically it's one of those novels where things happen as life. It's one of those life happens to you type of novels. It's basically checking in with the family at different points of their life as time goes on. And the main characters here are obviously Francie. It's mostly told from her point of view. Get out of here. And she greatly loves books, and she's going to the library to read everything in alphabetical order that you possibly can. Her dad is a waiter, also very impoverished. He's not really good at working, but he is good at singing. The Blarney, as they call it, because he's the first generation son of Irish immigrants. There are a lot of Irish immigrants in this story in Brooklyn, turn of the last century, and tells a good tale and loves his family dearly, even though he's not on paper the most successful person you could ever count on to keep a family together. Francie loves him dearly. He would do everything in the world for her and tries his best. Sometimes doesn't fail, but she loves him anyway. Katie, the wife, has become hardened. She fell in love with his Irish Blarney and charm, but now when they married young. So now basically, the hardships of life have made her hard, have made her too practical, maybe. Whereas Johnny's pretty much there to have fun, to try and enjoy life. He doesn't really look at life in the debit credit column, and that causes a rift between him and Katie that you can feel throughout the entire book. And all told, I really enjoyed it. It's an unsentimental look at poverty in 1908 to, I want to say 1908 to 1917. Yeah, takes place over a decade about, because I don't think the Great War, the First World War is over yet by the time the book ends. So, yeah, it opens up at 1908, and the war isn't finished yet. So say about 9 years, and yeah, you basically come to love the Nolan family and all the little sided, all their relatives around them that have their own problems, especially the sister. The sister, I don't know, Sissy, right? Yeah, her name's Sissy. You could say she's got a screw loose, but she has a very defiant. She goes through men, like she even marries men. She's man crazy, and she just goes through men and basically breaks hearts at the speed of light until she finds the right one. And yeah, she's got her own problems going on. They occasionally switch away from Francie when there's an adult problem to be looked at. Sissy helps Johnny Nolan during delirium tremens. It's all pretty grim stuff, but it's got a hopeful, happy ending that you buy because this family has basically had it so bad for this entire novel, but they're getting by. And I guess the whole subtext of the book, the metaphor, if you will, is a tree grows in Brooklyn. There's this tree that was growing up in their neighborhood. It got cut down by management, but yet somehow it still survived. A tendril branched off and then grew somewhere else. It wouldn't clog the washing lines. But I'm glad I saw the movie because it brought forth that same warm-heartedness through it, despite adversity, that suffuses the book. And the book was long; it was about 500. I want to say 537 pages. I'd seen the movie when I was younger, and I guess somehow something stuck in me because I kept saying I need to read that book. Like I want to say for the last 15, 20 years, I want to read that book eventually. I want to read that book. And I'd see it like in Goodwill or something, debated about picking it up, but I didn't pick it up. And then I go look for it, and it was gone. So finally, I just said, "Screw it!" I just bought it off of a e-Kindle or whatever, off of Amazon for 99 cents or something. And it was a good, hearty read. It's considered a literary classic, and I think I'm a better person for having read it. I read more mindfully now. And I would like to take this moment to thank 2 booktubers for helping me to be a more mindful reading booktuber. That would be Cams Campbell Reads, a Scotsman. He reads everything, but his forte is Russian literature and Russian history. And Paul Mars. He's an author himself. He's based in Northern England. He's pretty much a geek like I am, except he channeled his so he could actually have a successful career out of it. He's written Doctor Who novels and everything like that, and he pretty much digs the same stuff I do. And he reads everything. Speaking of which, also, Roy reads everything. I guess all of them are based in the UK. But I'm slowly getting to know different booktubers that appeal to me. I'm sure I'll mention more as time goes on, but I just want to tip my hat to them because they're helping me to become a better, more mindful book reader and helping me by showing the example of being a decent booktuber. So yes, the movie basically ends somewhere hopeful. There's more to the movie. There's more to the book. I mean, it doesn't concentrate on when Francie decides to go to work. She takes a break off from school to get more money in the house. So she basically takes a break from school and takes several jobs, figures out what she likes, and she eventually meets a man herself. The movie doesn't go into that. It's almost like if you were to see the movie and then read the book, you'd almost think from that point on you were reading a setup for a sequel. But yeah, in that way, the book is truly a coming-of-age story, and a very heartfelt one. I'm glad it turned out the way it did. There was a plot development that I was kind of hoping for in the book, and the romantic in me, the hopeful romantic in me, and of course Betty Smith must have been thinking along the same lines because she had a certain thing happen towards the end of the book which really warmed my cockles. So yeah, if you want to see something, if you want to read something wholesome and entertaining, think the Waltons but with a lot more grit to it. Check out A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, because it's pretty unvarnished in how it displays poverty and alcoholism. And hell, even France gets attacked by I guess you could call him a sexual predator, I guess you could say, even though they weren't as blatant as to call it that. But it really messed her up for a little bit in the book. And yeah. Excellent reading. Check it out. Enjoy. We'll speak to you soon.